I think they look much better than they used to. They used to be very like
Are we commencing it or
AI.
what?
Yes, we're not commencing, but we are streaming already.
Yeah, this other program is so much better. Yeah, that last one would not show any emotions for anything, so everything just looked dead. Soulless, if you will. Soulless.
Justin, you did do Twitch, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Dude, Jeff, Crystal was playing fucking money the other day. What the hell was up her ass?
Yeah. Her flicks were on for sure, especially.
From a laser beam.
If you're gonna stroke your wife, do that shit off stream. You're streaming, okay?
And it is live. People can hear it.
I'm just kidding, dude. If your wife is doing badass at fucking disc golf, you fucking hype her up. On the
Still can't putt.
and neither can you. It's all a good fun, I promise.
They actually, how did the tournament in Austin go? They did.
Yeah, just finished the final round today. I'll say this, without giving away too many spoilers. 3 of the 4 people on lead card, second, third, and fourth round, because it was an Elite Series Plus. So there's two rounds at one course, 2 rounds at another course. 3 of the 4 people on lead card, the entire tournament, were Discmania players. So.
Heyo.
But that makes sense, premium plastic and all.
That's what it boils down to.
I just like MVP. Yeah, that really black rim.
The
Yeah.
Overmold's great tech. I love a lot of them, but just
We're doing shotgun segment at the end, correct?
Yes.
I was almost getting ready to fucking.
You already have it cracked.
I was getting close. I want to drink. God damn it.
I'm ready.
Alrighty.
I need a third monitor for these days of streaming.
I need 6 monitors at all times.
I struggle to keep like windows, like arrange my windows so that I can actually see it on my one monitor. So annoying.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Good Lord, with buying a house, Chris, so much different.
And so it begins.
I'm not gonna have. It's a guy
That's
thing,
how it
right?
goes.
Where like if your old lady sends you something, you're like, okay, that means you want it. I'm gonna do it. Or I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try to figure that out for you. But like, I learned girls when they do that shit.
Not for me either.
Well, girls when they do that shit, it's just them like, look at this idea. But like for me, if I send her an idea or something, it's because like I'm like,
Rashad, you DC'd. I'm back. 9 seconds.
He probably fell asleep.
Baby, come back.
gotta go get beer.
I'm actually headed back right now. So.
We're supposed to be commencing The hell happened?
I have no idea.
Oh,
It just sat there.
Retro.
Retro.
Next.
Still hear him, so
Well,
there he is.
Yeah, you are.
Hopefully his camera's in.
Can you see my camera?
Here we go.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to SoberKart again. We got a little bit different style that we're going to try and approach to you guys today. We will be starting off with just a 2 beer by 4 race. Obviously, we'll be doing more later. And have a few different segments that we're going to go through, including our predictions of the new Mario Kart. Our final predictions. Characters, item boxes, map selections, game hardware, all of the goods. Y'all about ready to start with a four-fer?
Let's go.
Yeah,
for
2 for 2 for.
2
But,
beers,
yeah,
4
4
races.
Yeah.
I just want to start by saying I think that any that come out with video game sort of stuff, I think that it's actually all calculated marketing, and that's the reason why we haven't heard almost any since then, because Nintendo, whatever the fuck is about to happen.
Yeah, we also have the Nintendo Direct coming out April 2nd, so I'm sure we're gonna all find out a lot of hopefully good information.
April 2nd,
And
right
A
around the
lot
corner.
of literally right around the corner. A lot
Which
of
is
guys,
also it's also the same day as Autism Awareness Day.
That makes sense. We're all autistic.
Yeah.
Your daddy, Roberto.
why?
That's funny. I like it. That's a good piece of information. Appreciate you bringing that to
So
us.
good, yeah. We will be doing a stream to sponsor the autistic kids,
First,
raising charitable funds.
first
And we'll take all the money
predictions.
because we're
hardware.
autistic.
What do y'all got?
Hardware.
How's it gonna be like PS5? Not as good. What?
No, it's not
Definitely
going to be as powerful. I would say maybe PS4 Pro, approaching PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
No
But
first lap.
no, I don't
No.
No,
I
first
don't
lap.
think it's. I mean, they don't really need to focus on the power anymore, right? They have more exclusives and games that come out that are unlike anything else. They know their console is going to sell, especially with how successful the Switch was.
I agree.
Um,
Outside
I
of
mean, the
what
Switch-
Rashad mentioned earlier today about them trying to create more competition in the FPS side of things. And,
Yeah, like
what is that?
I have that speculation that they're gonna do that, right? Because they're making like Call of Duty is gonna be a big title. Rainbow Six is coming in.
Halo.
Talked about bringing Halo to
Halo as well. So it's like I'm not saying that's what they're doing, but if they're gonna try to make a mark to at least be a part of that space, because that's typically what most people are playing these days, they're probably gonna have to come up on their hardware because it's just not gonna work the way that it is now. I did read a couple of speculations, and there was actually like a hardware breakdown of sorts from a reputable source, and he kind of said what Jeff just did, pretty much kind of hardware that'll probably be similar to that of the PS4 Pro, which honestly, if you think about it, is a fucking move up for the Switch.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that's plenty powerful enough to
Yeah.
play these modern games.
Yeah.
Crazy
Um,
what Switch games are going to look like with that level.
Yeah, gnarly as
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's gonna be down down res, but
Yeah, it's not going to compete like the other consoles, but I mean, if you could play everything that you can play on other consoles while also being able to play it handheld and on the go, it's gonna sell.
that's why Steam Deck does well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's also
That's
like
another aspect.
$1,000, right?
Hell yeah. That's
So-
another aspect too, though. Looking at the handheld side versus the dock side, like the dock that we get now is, I mean, ain't do shit.
Dog shit.
Thing, right? But
Oh,
what does the dock component look like now? You know what I mean? With increasing hardware, and are we gonna get a more solid?
I'm curious if it'll be 4K. I doubt it, but
I
I think so.
I think so. Only in docked, obviously.
Yeah, I'm docked.
Yeah.
They're probably only at 30 FPS. So
Yeah.
take it.
But I mean, obviously, we know about the size of the console being bigger. I think that would be better for, adults, whatnot. So the Switch, right, has 4 inches. It's 4 inches high by 9.4 inches long. Whereas doing a side-by-side imagery of the Switch 2 during the release trailer, so it was pretty much about 14% larger than the Switch 1. So that would make it 4.5 inches high, 10.7 inches long.
What about the Mario Kart game specifically? Graphics? Any predictions on that?
I think with the world getting bigger, that added hardware is.
Do you think they'll be able to have 4K on Mario Kart specifically with 24 characters?
I don't know because
I don't know either. Yeah,
I have other predictions for the new Mario Kart game alone, and I don't really want to delve into that yet per se.
Yeah.
But I think there's certain things that are going to happen with this new Mario Kart game where the 4K resolution isn't going to be the really priority of this. Or I don't think it would be able to handle it necessarily.
Yeah, definitely not.
24
I think
characters.
We can't argue that.
I don't really those sort of like graphics. Like I don't think they matter much. To be honest, like ever since like 2000, like we'll say 14. Honestly, I have not noticed a substantial like, wow, this is so much sharper and more impressive. Where it's so noticeable that like it was like difference between HD and like standard definition TV. That was huge. But like since 2014
PS1 and PS2.
yeah, ever since
I would
then,
say
it's
like on Nintendo games, yeah, I agree. It's not that big of a deal, but when you're talking about like a Call of Duty game, there's definitely a drastic difference in my opinion.
We also got to look at
heavy.
cross, like using specific pieces of hardware together to maximize graphics as well. But
I think it's one of those. I think it's one of those things where you don't really notice until you play the higher resolution for so long, higher FPS, and then you go back to a lower quality, lower FPS game. You definitely can tell a difference between like 120 FPS and 60 when you've been playing a 120 FPS game for an extended period of time. But I don't think it's so drastic where it matters, especially with Nintendo-like games.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, okay, we're gonna see cartoony graphics and 4K as opposed to 1440p. Like,
yeah, definitely.
For Mario Odyssey, it was Mario hair. That was impressive. That was a huge upgrade.
What about characters and tracks? Let's start with characters. How many characters do y'all think it'll actually have?
I think it's going to start with a base 48 at minimum.
I'm
double what the players can actually be on.
I'm thinking if they're a little bit more sensitive to including skins into the characters instead of having like, a Peachette and a bike ride or whatever. All these extra skins, Metal Mario, for example. And just creating those type of skins, it'll probably be about 50. But if they're going to have them separate for weight classes or whatever the sake, I'm assuming it's going to be closer to 100.
I think it'll get there. I don't think it'll be 100. I think what they're going to do, honestly, is like do something like 48, right? But then instead of breaking it out like how this Mario Kart does, where you have the different skins as separate characters, they'll actually have it where it's just like the Shy Guy colors. Like it'll be one character, but they're probably going to implement more skins and costumes and stuff for different.
I wonder too, though, because as we get into like how big this game is going to be, I mean, what we assume it's going to be, right? Like adding an integrated customization feature. I mean, maybe they might do that with carts instead of characters, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them do that with characters.
Are they going to hone in the Mario Kart? Yeah. Are they going to hone in the Mario Kart specific, or are they going to add more crossover characters?
I hope they add more crossover characters, but honestly,
I'm sure they will.
With Smash Bros.
We see some Smash Bros. Appearances and stuff, yeah.
I truly feel like they're going to take a lot from Smash Brothers into the next Mario Kart.
I agree.
I mentioned it a few times. Like, I really think even the map,
Splatoon,
the amount of maps that they
add in,
and I'm not going to go as far as saying there's going to be a map editor, but I do think it's
at least on a.
I think it'll be a larger
level.
start for maps compared to every other Mario Kart.
Yeah, but you also got to take in mind that all of these maps are going to be much wider, right? It's going to fit 24 players, so they have to adjust everything.
I'm not so
I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be every.
I'm not saying
going to be
everyone.
like. I imagine it'll be like.
But go ahead, sorry.
Like, say you play Halo, if you do big team battle, there's only a select amount of type of maps that you'll play in that area. Whereas if you play 4v4, you'll be on specific type of maps. Like, I see him going that route.
I 100% agree. It makes more sense to have it as an option, just like 150cc, 200cc. 24 characters, 16 characters, etc. And there'll be maps that allow certain levels or certain amounts of players compared to others.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely hope that.
Then you lose like specific content because you're not playing a certain game mode.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it could be optional.
I'm just thinking they're going to fix the online play a lot more. So therefore,
I think online play is going to be a big focus of this, and that's why they implemented.
I think so too.
They've already been making, even like with the Switch, they've been making progress on online play and everything.
Yeah. Oh, shit. It only makes sense to stay relevant. Ooh, freaking blue.
I would just be. Can you imagine playing Baby Park with 24 racers? Yeah, right. Dude, like not adjusted at all. Just like, man. I think it would give each map a different level of like fun factor too. But I definitely think they should add an option to either play with 24 or 12.
I think it'll only make sense to have like lobbies of like, I don't want to race with that many people, just like you would back in the old Halo lobby days and shit.
Yeah, I feel like there's going to be so many more levels of customization compared to like maybe not so much exactly like Smash Brothers, but they have so much room for more. Yeah. Especially competitive play and bringing that all back and making it even bigger.
The problem I see with that is if you have too much customization within like game types and matchmaking, is the community that diverse that they would be able to sustain quality matchmaking, even though you're like, well, I don't want to do the 24-player matchmaking. I'd rather do just a normal 12.
Well, they can adjust servers on a need-to-be basis. So,
well, instead of game modes in other games like Halo, like you prefer different game modes in Call of Duty or Halo or whatever, there's not really like a drastic amount of game modes that Mario Kart has ever introduced into the series anyway. Even if they added like maybe one or two, there's, I mean,
and even if you go through the
change to playing 24 or 12. I think it's still going to be the same thing as playing some other game. It's just instead of modes, you change the options of how the race is.
Because even if you go through the tournament side of, like if you look online in Mario Kart, there's all different types of things you can join before you get into it, and they're like, oh shit, I didn't mean to join this. This is nothing what I wanted.
Rashad, what's your capture?
Even Smash Brothers does that too. You can join
How long has that been?
brackets and tournaments. A couple minutes.
For one race.
If you had to pick, go ahead.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask if you had to pick one character that had never been in a Mario Kart game before that you thought they would add if they are going to expand the roster, who would it be? Mine's Cranky Kong.
Cranky Kong?
I think they're going to expand on the DK series. It only makes sense with this shit, and especially seeing how interactive they were in the Mario movie, and seemingly how they based the graphics of the new Mario characters in the Mario Kart trailer that we got off of the similarities of their movie features. I think it only makes sense to add Cranky.
Yeah. Okay.
For me, more Zelda character, like even
Yeah,
like Navi would be dope.
Navi would be sick, dude. That'd be so sick. Yeah, I would say more
Navi,
Zelda
like,
characters in general
how-
too.
You got an extra small cart.
Yeah.
That's funny. I'm about it. I'm here for it.
What's that character that you think is a guy pretty much the whole time, but it's actually a chick?
Sheik.
Sheik.
Yeah.
Sheik would be sick.
Yeah,
But that's
And
Zelda.
Sheik
Even
already
though-
That's
being
just
in,
Zelda.
but they did do that in Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
So
Sheik is Zelda.
Sheik was in Raw.
That would just be
Yeah.
a skin.
Yeah.
I think that would just be a skin.
Well,
If
you
they have
well you
Zelda.
did say based off of Mario Kart, right? Not
I did,
Nintendo.
but I mean, it is what it is. These are most of the fan picks, but I think
Outside the box choice, I'm gonna say Doomslayer since they
Oh my god.
officially confirmed Doomslayer and the fucking
Oh.
the little Isabella is in a relationship with him.
Leave me alone.
I think Metroid would be a lot more likely
Metroid
than that.
Oh, this is the third lap. I'm a fucking idiot.
Who?
Oh, right, dude, just to end it all.
Finish your beers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot I was a 2x4 for a second.
Yeah, I see them not doing a lot of characters that they already did in Smash Brothers.
Oh, 2 points for Shot?
I mean,
But
I'd even like to see like characters like Nabbit from the Mario series. A fairly
Yeah.
new character.
Looks like at least one
that
DC
guy.
right there. We'll make sure to add that shotgun here in a little bit.
tune in for that segment.
2 points.
No,
That's not even possible.
that was an internet DC, so
Was it actually?
yeah, it was. That's when my computer crapped and everything.
Rashad, who's
I
your
just
character
like,
pick?
I don't know, dude. You know, I'd love to see Dr. Eggman.
Well,
Yeah.
if they're gonna
Just
bring
say
in
Sonic.
Sega, yeah.
Nah, man.
That's a competitive game. Sonic All Stars Transform Racing or whatever.
Dude, that was a good game. I had that on
Or
the
Tails.
360, I
That was
believe.
a
Yeah,
big
360.
You know, Dr. Eggman's like in that little floating fucking
Yeah, of
egg
course.
thing, like the-
And you can
so
change the
sick.
skin to oh my god, what's the actor's name?
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey.
I wonder that would be wild as hell. I mean, because you look at like Fortnite and how they get it created, you can play as like Snoop Dogg and Travis Scott and shit.
I know they do everything.
It's like racing. It's like actual people and shit, man. I don't think Nintendo goes that far, but that'd be funny.
I mean, if you want to
Nintendo's
start
like the-
including Sega, there's a lot of Sega
Yeah,
characters.
there's
that
all
would-
sorts
yeah,
of
for
things that we
sure.
could.
Nintendo's
do.
like a Christian like games company where they're only going to keep to like their formula and they're not going to lean outside of it. I don't think they'd ever do like the collabs with weird shit and like
I mean,
I don't
there
I don't
are
think they would either.
there are like 8 Sonic and Mario games.
Yeah, Mario and Sonic
I mean,
at the Olympic
yeah, they-
Games, there's like 5 of those.
They're huge competitors.
That's like the
Yeah.
only thing they collaborate with as
Yeah.
far outside of Nintendo.
It would be cool. Something like Jet Grind Radio. Can you imagine like being on roller skates or something like that?
oh man.
That's not going to happen. Just like they're not going to be able to have Sonic as a playable character and you'd be like, oh, I don't want a cart because I'll just run.
Yeah, I'm just running.
They'd be fools
That's
to
the-
not add that custom-made Sonic tracks. That was so well made.
That was super well made. Yeah, that was.
Of course they won't though. But.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, we are going to try something new, and we'll get better on it. I would definitely appreciate feedback from anybody listening. But swapping over to esports, what are Mario Kart tournaments looking like as of recently? They have definitely been going down. I have a few things to bring up relative to what has recently been happening. And as we can see, since 2017, the release date of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, officially, this has been taxable claimed money. There's been only less than $15,000 from 10 different tournaments. These are national tournaments or larger. These are not little like club things or high school things. This is stuff that, is registered as far as esports earnings go.
No wonder nobody goes for that.
Not a good way to draw in a lot of crowd.
The latest one, however, has been the largest prize pool, Mario Kart Ragnarok. Very, again, a prize money of almost $10,000. So literally 2/3 of that prize pool is coming from one singles tournament. With that being said, first place took home $5,000, second place $2,000, third $1,000, and there were
That's tragic.
only about 24 people in the tournament. So if you ranked in the top 7, you took home some cash, though. Does anybody?
It's crazy because, also the highest selling Switch game.
They really don't pay it forward. That's for sure.
Does anybody recognize these names as Mario Kart players?
It's hard.
This was back in August of 2023.
With events like that, it's sponsors. They sponsor a tournament or like a event, and they're the ones who help pay out the cash prizes. So like Nintendo probably wouldn't be involved in that unless it's massive. So I imagine with like Smash Bros, they are also sponsoring the event or something like world events, but that's a way more competitive and like serious esports event.
I mean, that's what they did last year. They actually ran Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Championship and Smash Bros at the same time last year in August. I wonder if a lot of that revenue like goes off of the books because it ends up like being paid out via like endorsements or something like that. I don't know that that's how it's working, but maybe you're getting certain memorabilia, certain pieces of hardware, controllers and shit. I don't know what that looks like.
Sponsorships.
That's pretty crazy for this game to be as big as it is, and those monetary values are that low. That's wild.
Yeah,
I thought Halo paid
a
like
shocking
shit.
number.
And I know there's an option for a more, but spoiler alert, there is no more. There are only 10.
That is wild. After this many years.
There are ongoing tournaments that just don't compete on terms of prize pool money. You're talking about like $200 to first kind of thing. And there is actually competition going on currently for the NASEF Worldwide Mario Kart 8 Time Trial Competition, or you can actually register right here from their website.org. You have 5 days to do so if you would like to submit times. There's apparently multiple thousands of dollars going into this, and the prize pool is apparently continuing to rise as we speak. So I'm not going to speculate on what that final number would look like, but it's looking like it will be over $10,000 at least as a full prize pool. So that's kind of
several
cool.
ones of thousands of dollars,
right?
Hundreds of thousands of pennies.
Submitting time trials. Again, they got your rulebook options, leaderboards of everything that have already gone in. Let's actually take a dive into that. I have not looked at this yet, but yeah. So people are constantly uploading stuff, and this isn't time trials that have just been since the existence of the game. This is only during the competition time. So you can actually potentially win some money by submitting speed runs.
Somebody call Brandon since he wants to.
I kind of like the concept though of people still being super competitive when it comes to Mario Kart, even though there's no like cash prize for them.
I agree.
I feel like that makes it more authentic for the player base. Like the top players are playing specifically because they like playing, and there's no like
a game that's 8 years old at that. Yeah, I mean, and I personally feel like that's something in terms of Mario Kart that we're gonna see prediction wise with the new Mario Kart is I think they're gonna kind of pour more back into competitive and communal gameplay. Where maybe in this new Mario Kart we do see some of those numbers. You got 24 fucking racers. I mean,
Yeah.
you look at what they've done in the past, moving from console to console to, new Mario Kart to new Mario Kart, and they have progressively created this larger market within the competitive space. And then, I mean, we haven't had a Mario Kart in 8 years, so they're kind of just like, yeah, we're going to work on this new one. Maybe we get a better rollout. I don't know.
I don't know. Go ahead.
Communities are what make games. So like if you have a good community that are like welcoming and like encourage, competitiveness and growth, that's the reason why a game survives, and I think why this one. For a little bit there, you know, Jeff, when you and I met, there was no expansion, layout for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And then after about a year, then we start getting updates from Nintendo, and they're like, yeah, so over the next, 2 years, we're going to drop map packs for free. And it's because of the community that
It wasn't
like,
for free. It was not for free.
Yeah.
It was really
This is still Nintendo we're talking about.
Oh, yeah, I believe that.
Well, if you have Nintendo Online or whatever.
Well, no, it's not even just Nintendo Online. It's Nintendo Online with the expansion pass. Then you would get the maps for free.
Yeah.
Regardless, if you have a good community, then it helps it like survive and prosper. Like Destiny 2, I remember the Destiny 1 community and like how that, like I was huge into it. I put a couple thousand hours in that game. Destiny 2, it died so fucking hard, and
I put like 3.
Yeah.
With that being said, there are still, just from a simple search over the last month, ongoing tournaments that happen around the world, but they are just very small tournaments that typically have less than 20 to 30 people sign up for them. This one actually just completed on March 8th. There's another one right here coming up on April 12th, $200 grand prize. There's nothing crazy about them, but they still are ongoing. $200.
$200.
I heard $200 grand.
Yeah, and then the last tournament by Nintendo of America had 2,500 gold points, basically valued at $25 to event winners. Anybody could sign up. The
$25.
Yeah, finalized.
I just want to make sure.
January 6th. Well, it's 2,500 Nintendo gold points, which if you were to buy it USD would cost you $25. So
you still couldn't even buy a game.
Yeah,
since they re-release games for 10 years at the same price. That
there were 8 winners a day, so there are 24 winners total. So, but yeah, it's still pretty tragic on how that's going. Also, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Championship 2024. This is the largest tournament that seems to go on where people actually pay attention to in terms of who the best is. That was held in August 2024. The winner was not the same winner of 2023. Forgot the fucking name. It was that Japanese guy with the pink hair.
Yeah, Zon or Non or something.
Forgive me, but he, I think, got 3rd place. And just for the shout out for the people in the back, 7th place 2024 world winner was an inside drifting kart. You can still play and be competitive on this.
No one cares.
I'm not excited about 7th place either. So.
In the world championship?
I don't give a shit.
It's not in the top 5.
I mean, if you're committing that much, that guy probably spent like 5 times longer to get that good than the number 1 player did.
Bullshit.
These are the facts.
Everybody just likes to copy. Oh, well, this guy just got the best record, so that must be the best setup.
No, you're just a hippie and like to be different. It's okay.
Oh, dude, bro. Upcoming tournaments, according to Grok, that I found, scheduled for April 12th. I already mentioned that one. Nintendo South Wales Tournament, part of the MPUK Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Online Tournament, set for April 6th at 5 p.m. UK time. You could actually sign up for that up until March 30th. It will feature online verse races, no battle modes. And Yes Gaming Gym event, which is located in... just says downtown. but location unspecified. That does not help us at all.
Downtown.
Just downtown.
Just
Find a downtown near you.
This man set out and he reached every single downtown in the world.
Community gaming $1,000 tournaments happen with 96 player caps, apparently fairly often in Las Vegas, including the HyperX Arena Las Vegas, which hosts Saturday game nights, and which Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is apparently a game that is on rotation there. Beyond that, has anybody else been keeping up with Mario Kart online tournaments? Because this seems to be lackluster, and I think we need to change that.
I was just about to say, like, honestly, maybe we just create a new class of tournament and we just create the leagues, right? Like, outside of what you said, like, the only other things that I was seeing was just a bunch of small little leagues that host their own, kind of tournaments, and they're really
Locals.
They're either teams tournaments or they're like you
Nights
have
at the Mario Kart night at the bar kind of stuff, like not actual tournaments that are.
Yes, even some of the bigger YouTube channels that encompass nothing but Mario Kart 8 and do competitive play. I mean, what Rashad and I were discussing a bit earlier. I don't know if you could bring it up easily, Sean, or not, but MarioKartCentral.com.
Yep. I actually got the results that just was live streamed. I'm not going to play too much of it just for the sake of copyright. But if you have yet to catch that, I guess my computer's just going to relax for a second.
Embrace alfresco living and transform your backyard into a seamless extension of your home with collections from
Live-in spaces.
This is the results of the final day, which was last night, technically today.
Do you know if this was a partner thing? So every two people get paired up, and the
this one was actually a free for all.
I'll bring it up.
Yeah, this one was a collegiate free for all actually. So you actually had to actively be a college student, and you're representing your college in this tournament, which actually started on the 6th of February and literally ran all the way until today, America's time, because they're running out of Japan, I believe. But yeah, that's pretty much how that was ironed out.
With that being said, there were 184 unique teams spanning across 23 divisions in this season.
This is also season 2 of that.
Yep.
Let's get 2025 tournament schedule.
In general, though, there's multiple different leagues that go on, whether it be typical 150cc free for alls, 200cc free for alls, or teams of 4 going at it, 2v2s.
According to the Pacific League, you are correct in terms of where it ended, but the Retro Rally tournament, directly from their website, is going through April 27th.
Retro Rally is a different one now.
Yeah.
That's why they say they have so many. The one that I was looking at specifically was
MK Summit, right?
Yeah, which ended.
Yeah, that was MK Central.
25th, but
that was the NRC FFA, which is the National Racing Collegiate Free for All, which ended, like I said, today. But Mario Kart Central, they host these summits, and like Jeff was saying, there are a multitude of different types of styles of racing that they do. So you can be a college, they do 2v2s, 4v4s, 6v6s. They do regional tournaments and competitions where they literally race off the MMR, which is matchmaking ranking. Mm-hmm. And then they'll do it based off of whether you're in Asia, whether you're in North America, whatever. They have a bunch of it. Tons of it.
I see here that it states MK Central staff are successful in retrieving a tournament license from Nintendo. I don't want to get too deep into looking into that currently because we have some more beer to drink, but
yeah, I'm thirsty.
I'm curious to see if a tournament license required by Nintendo may be a contributing factor on why there is a lack of tournaments across the board on this game. If you have any information and want to let us know, please do. We will definitely
send it directly to our
that.
email so we can get signed up. We're going to start tournament.
Well, we will also cover the ins and outs on that at a later date.
Yeah, got a spam message in Twitch.
Before we continue to our next 2B4 race, does anybody else have anything that they would like to state in terms of player stats, or have any segment that they think we should cover, whether it's speed running or not?
No, not specifically at this time, but
excited to see what happens with the next one.
Yeah, and I'll definitely be delving into that a bit more, so I can.
Yeah, likewise, definitely be paying a lot more attention. And like I said too, I think that we speculatively, I do think we see a more competitive space with the new Mario Kart coming out. I mean, if you have people still, regardless of the low payouts and the very small size tournaments, people are still playing this game 8 years later. What are they going to do when we get a brand new one that is far more expansive? So,
Right. Yeah,
we'll keep paying attention and stay up to date with it and give it to you guys.
Yep.
More people playing the game, more excitement. It's going to lead to like more heads to make it more competitive and exciting. So like it'll be, I think, a better competitive space. It's just a question if it can maintain effectively.
Yeah, it's definitely not anything to do with player base though, because like I said, it's the most sold Switch game. Far beats Super Smash Ultimate. So the player base is there. It's just tailoring it towards people.
Yeah, they got to get.
I can actually feel comfortable playing competitive and wanting to play that.
Yeah. So it's too casual, you'd say, maybe?
Yeah, more than likely it's that, as well as just how the overall online is.
Yeah.
I would actually like to discuss this a little bit more, and it's more relevant to it. So if you want to start the 2x4.
Sure. You're talking about online play and game mechanics?
Online play, yep.
I think that's a good segment to get into. We definitely will have a little bit of crossover going back over a few other things, but let's talk about that. While you started off, I'm going to go ahead and pee.
So I think the biggest hindrance in what we were talking about too, with competitive play and people actually feeling like they should be competitive in a game like this, is the lack of an accurate ranking based off of how good you are. So if you play online play on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, right, you have a VR system, a general number that ranks you. But that number will go up no matter how poorly you actually race. You don't actually, on average, lose any placements.
Yeah.
So pretty much even the people who are the best, who have played less than someone who just spams online races and gets last place, they'd probably be a higher ranking than that competitive player, just because they've overall played more races. So like that ranking system doesn't actually showcase how good you are as a player, and because of that, I'm sure the competitive players don't really care to spend an absurd amount of time just racing to have a higher ranking that doesn't matter.
Yeah. So. There's no incentive.
There really isn't. Yeah,
that's what I think too. Like a lot of, you got to look at the way like people consume this type of stuff nowadays, right? Like I feel like if the landscape changed in terms of like how tournaments are marketed and like creating a lure and stuff, like maybe you wouldn't see big cash prizes initially, but now you could start to get more reputable sponsorships, which then in turn, turn into, hand over fist, cash in hand, and that kind of pulls it up a little bit more. But like you said, I mean, there's not a lot of incentive on the board right now for people just to be so excited, right? We know Mario Kart as that party game. Like if you're just hanging out with the boys, like, hey, you want to play some Mario Kart, but you got to get to that point if you want to see it in a different space where it becomes a thing that people are actively competing at and really making it that type of thing. If we want to see a difference, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much Sean. Since all of us DC.
We all DC.
Yeah, that's all of it.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah,
We can.
What the fuck?
everything's still good except the game.
Yep.
Everything's still live too.
Well, yeah, if everything stays connected, then I'm gonna have to assume that's a shotgun, even though doesn't make any sense because I literally just stopped.
I mean, I wouldn't say that's fair. It's still like out of your control.
No, were you actively driving?
I was drinking, but I just started drinking. So, I mean, I don't think I went over the time limit, but that's if everything else is still going and nothing stopped. That's the only logical explanation. But
yeah,
I think another reason for just competitive play not being as fun in general is problems like this that pursue a lot.
Yeah, that's
overall.
a big one.
There's not
really big one.
there's not consistent connection across the board. Something that Nintendo definitely has to work on and improve compared to Xbox.
And we're looking at fucking online play with this game in particular, like the whole disconnecting due to your cart not moving for a very short period of time.
In a custom lobby?
Yeah.
Yeah, in a custom lobby, that's ridiculous. I can see that on online, but it's just laziness.
That's a perfect example. You go back and watch, and if I disconnected because I literally opened 2 beers and took a quarter of a beer drink.
Oh yeah, they were too long.
And that's too long?
Typically, it's not.
Typically, it's not.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous on how little time you have before they'll just disconnect you out of the lobby.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, that's when I disconnected the second time when I came back, and I was like, what the fuck?
Was not you.
Peach Gardens, repeat.
Sure.
I mean, that was the first race, so.
Yep, we didn't actually finish it.
Yeah, I disconnected before the race even started, so I went to go take a piss.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like, yes, it wasn't me.
Yeah, no, online plays definitely got to get better. I think competitively for sure, but I think even if they maintained the same aspects of online play now, but just fixed the little quirky shit that y'all were already talking about, I don't think there'd be any complaints. That's how bad the issues are.
Exponentially.
One thing that's hard to replicate, though, with something like Smash, right? Is Smash, everyone shares one screen, so it's easier to implement more people locally, at least, as like a party-centric game. Whereas you can't really do the same with Mario Kart, right? Everyone has their own place on a much bigger map that the camera has to follow. So they can't just keep it on one map, and therefore it kind of limits how many people locally could play.
Yeah.
I think there's also limitations to like what the Switch has to offer currently, and I hope they improve upon that.
I ran into it.
Because like as of now, I think a huge part of the reason why like I personally have connection issues is I never have it on my Xbox One or my Xbox Series S or my my laptop. But I have it on my Switch because it's an older generation of it. It's just like the tech is just kind of limited, and I hope that the new system like solves some of those issues, because like it's so difficult to get invested and serious with a game if you can't like constantly have a similar experience.
Yeah, literally can't get into the game. Imagine being in a Call of Duty lobby going to play Team Deathmatch or something, and you had to deal with the same issues.
Oh,
like,
you would.
People would break their consoles.
I mean, you got to think about it. It's a Wi-Fi card from 11 years ago.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can only see it improving in every aspect, really.
Yep, for sure.
Beyond that, while we're talking about game gimmicks specifically, I know we were talking about online mechanics, but beyond just online, what other gimmicks do you anticipate potentially being brought to? Because Nintendo likes to innovate. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe brought the
Dual screen.
anti-gravity. Mario Kart 7 brought the glider. Mario Kart Double Dash brought double mystery boxes. I mean, any growth upon Mario Kart gimmicks?
Oh yeah. So I
don't-
got two.
Okay.
Go ahead, Justin.
No, mine's quick. I killed the blue. I'm confused about how fuel tanks are going to be an aspect.
Big God
So two main gimmicks I think come into Mario Kart outside of what we already know for a fact, which is 24 racers, right? A fuel system where there's going to be some sort of management while also racing.
Mm-hmm.
You can
I
see
think
fuel
that's-
tanks on each of the carts.
I also think that'll be a game option that you can choose to do, just for the sake of what we had already touched on earlier in terms of you don't have to do 24 races, just like you also don't have to do the F1 style NASCAR or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. And then I don't know if any of you guys have played Mario Kart Wonder, but you know everyone's been speculating what that bag under Yoshi's Burger place is. I think each map will have a different special item that's kind of like a Wonder Seed in Mario Wonder, where it completely changes the map in a certain way.
Evolution.
Yeah.
I agree.
Either that or that specific item will only be used by one
think it
person.
looks
So if you're
really-
lucky enough.
I think it looks really similar to the Wonder item thing, but also looks pretty similar to the really depressed blue star looking thing that was in the cages in the Mario movie.
Yeah.
Oh, from you're talking about from Super Mario Galaxy.
Yeah.
What were those called? Yeah.
We could just end it now.
Do you think we see a perspective change? Like, what if you don't get this? You can actually get a third-person view in a race your kart.
I mean, you have that on any other racing game,
Yeah.
for the most part, an option to do that. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a main gimmick or anything, but I don't see why they wouldn't be able to change that.
Right.
The only thing I see with the problem with third person is being able to see everything around you without actually having to look backwards.
Yeah, I don't
And that's
think
already
the
implemented.
third person is that much of a priority. If they're going to do
I
anything
don't
like
think
that,
it
it's
is.
going to be
You
more
mean
of a.
first?
You're going to have more Diddy Kong racing style aspects, like you might have an airplane option or a hover bike type shit. Obviously, we've already seen a snowmobile, and a boat. Or
You guys
jet,
mean like
jet
first
skis?
person?
Sorry.
It is third person.
Yeah,
First person.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think they're talking about changing the third person perspective.
Oh, okay.
Beyond that, I know you touched on fuel systems, but I think it's going to go a lot more in depth than that. If you look at the trailer, you could see like suspension systems on every single bike or
Yep.
cart. So
Tires,
I
just
think it's
general
not going to be
management.
tires, but if you pay attention to how main racing games goes, I think that's what they're going to try and do. They're going to try and compete with those F1 style racing games, to where you might not only have to refuel, but you might have to change your tires based on a certain level of usage. There might be more than just 3 laps, and it's not just a circuit. It might be like an hour-long racing type style.
Fucking
Oh, that's
PlayStation
fucking
3, Mod
ridiculous.
City Racing.
Yeah, exactly.
Mod City
And-
Racers. There was a whole bunch of customization. I
Le
really
Mans.
appreciated that game.
Le Mans 24-hour
like-
race, like you're just.
Yeah.
No.
Ah, yeah.
No. Damn it. And with the fuel system, I honestly think they're gonna replace coins with
Well, they
whatever
already have
has to.
coins
And
on the
because I
map.
think
We know that for a
did
fact.
they?
Yeah, there's
Okay, I
coins
didn't-
on the map. We don't know if it's an item that you can get, but we do know that they are in the game.
Then I think it's gonna be a secondary system with maybe those bags or something where it'll increase your overall speed, kind of like how coins do. Just a little extra. Or, I don't know. I think
With
it's
what Jeff touched on earlier about potentially the maps being too long, I don't necessarily think the trailer that we got necessarily defines that as a single race. That could very well
I don't think so
be
either.
like an open lobby scenario.
So that's another gimmick that I hope is in place, but this is less of a like prediction and more of speculation. Is like an open world concept, like hub or map or something that will unlock different costumes or like have additional things in play.
Like Diddy Kong Racing, where you kind of cruise around, you get to choose courses and that sort of thing.
Yeah, maybe a hub
yeah.
like that, and there's like stuff that you got to explore to like unlock. Or I mean, I personally would like that. I think
I
would
enjoy
add
that
to
stuff.
it.
It rewards.
I mean,
people
that's
for being-
something that's been big in all Mario Kart games, right? Like you have to go complete certain things. Like, I mean, obviously, like.
But it's been so lackluster.
Right, and
Yeah, I
I
think
think
this
you
game was
expand on it
pissed
now and
off.
make it a little bit more integrated.
Yeah. I can see them going a lot farther.
Yeah, going a little bit deeper and just making it something that you actually have to obtain, as opposed to just getting 3 stars on 200cc in all cups, right? Like, make it a little bit more integrated, right?
Go real deep.
Yeah.
Real.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a racing game, and it's arguably the best racing game of all time.
Objectively, yeah, it is.
So why not give the option of bringing in the people that don't play your game that are into racing games? Complete the circle of your entire target audience by giving them at least
It
an
would.
option.
Yeah.
I don't think that will change personally, if I'm being honest, because it's still going to stay cartoony, and the majority of why people play the more realistic games is to actually race realistic vehicles. So
They're car people.
this is a very different game. It always has been. I don't think they would tailor it to people who want to
I'm
play
not saying
more
tailor it, but
simulation.
give them an option.
I mean, if you get those options and then they still also get to
I
play
still don't
Mario
think they would
Kart, which
play
is
it, though.
it's something that's nostalgic for them, but now they get some of the features that they're used to in those other games. Why not?
It wouldn't be the first time Nintendo swung and missed, so I don't think they're gonna miss with this game.
I don't know.
But boom, bitch!
Yeah, that was a hell of a fucking bomb.
You better throw your fucking red. Why are you always so bad at this game, dude?
I just want you to run right into it. Why are you driving it?
You're still in 4th place, so
You're still bad. Oh my god. No, I don't think anybody who's like serious about racing games will ever be like, oh yeah, Mario Kart. Even if they add some of those more like in-depth features, they play it because they want to use it.
Yeah.
They play it because they're like, I want to race with a fucking Porsche GTR, like
yeah.
They want the
crazy
simulator.
shit, and like
Yeah. They play it for the realistic game mechanics as well as realistic this is the closest thing I could do to actually playing with a real vehicle. Or being
maybe
a real vehicle.
Maybe not those types of people, but could you create a little bit more allure when you see that Mario Karts are now having to pull up to pit stops to refuel, get tires changed?
I'm just saying there's so many other things they could do to bring in the fans that are already Mario Kart fans.
Fans that are already
really hope
fans are going to play
that
this
they
game.
spend so much time doing something like that because it's not going to be a hit.
Yeah, I think, and I speak for myself as a fan of the game that, regardless of how the game rolls out, I'm gonna fucking play it, and I think they also know that, right? Like, they know that their core fans are gonna return. They're gonna expand a little bit. I think Nintendo does a good job of encompassing its fan base more so than giving a shit about, the other guys that don't play their games because the fan base is strong with Nintendo. But we live in new times, so
it just makes sense.
I wouldn't
in my
be
opinion,
so surprised
to expand on everything that
Right,
they've already
exactly.
done that
Right.
the crowd enjoyed. Even if down to anti-gravity mechanics, expand that as maybe a potential stat that you can alter based off of customization. Customization people like to do, and I don't think anybody wants to see 12 Yoshis in an online race.
No, for sure not.
I think the hard question to answer is how do you draw in like younger crowds, like a lot of the Gen Z kids who just fucking play NBA 2K and Fortnite and Modern Warfare, like, because to be honest, how many 17-year-olds that are going to tell their friends, yeah, man, do you want to hop on Mario Kart tonight when we get off school? Like, it really, the vast majority of people are playing games like this anymore. We're grown-ups, and we're just reminiscing off of what like we used to do as kids, and we still enjoy it now because it's not a competitive, overly serious game. I stopped playing Call of Duty because I was smashing controllers and hated it. Like I was like, why am I doing this? I have a job. This sucks. Oh God, I gotta stop.
I mean, I think
that's another thing.
You'd be surprised. Just
Final race, finish your beer.
Like they're if you've noticed with Nintendo, like with every game, they kind of cater to the older generation because we're the ones that pass it on to our children.
No. Oh, Justin the win actually. I'm not as
but like with every Pokemon was getting kind of stale, so they added more open world aspects because that's what more people wanted, and like we've been playing these games since we were little. Like we wanted something different, and like that's what they did with Smash Brothers, and they've done it, like they just keep on doing it with everything. So I mean, this seems like the one that they're gonna go above and beyond with as well.
I think in general, there's a few series that you will rely upon that Nintendo will not disappoint.
right.
The 3D Mario games are always going to improve. They have always improved.
Yeah.
The Zelda games have typically always improved, at least mainline on home console. They've experimented with handheld and all of that, but they've also done that with Mario games. Mario Kart has typically always improved as well. I mean, a lot of us, most of us, don't like Mario Kart Wii, but Mario Kart Wii was still very successful. They did things that a lot of people like. It was not a failure by any means. I don't think they're going to necessarily they're not going to disappoint. I just think we have higher expectations or want more things because
I'm ready
game.
for the game in whatever way it's delivered. I think it's going to be great. There are already new aspects to the game, which is going to create enough excitement in and of itself. And like we were talking about earlier, the core fan base of Mario Kart and Nintendo games are going to love this game regardless. Right. And all the speculations, all the predictions, it's like, I would love to see this. If they don't get those things, does that mean people aren't going to play this game? Absolutely not.
Of course not.
You know what I mean?
It's going to be a great game.
It's going to be a great game regardless. And all be all, I'm just looking forward. And I do think on both sides, just to go back and touch on what Issa and talking about the younger age, like I don't think those the newer generation go to play these games, but when they do come to play these games, they do enjoy them.
They play it in our household all the time.
Yeah, so I've got an 8-year-old nephew, and we will play Mario Kart and Smash Bros. For hours. But is that actively the game he's going to go?
Generation. Yeah.
Right, but they also know to cater to the nostalgic value and factor of people, because I also play this game with my sisters and stuff too, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a wide range of a game. Their appeal, their reach is forever. There's not anybody that I know on this planet unless they're just, they would have to be from another planet that doesn't know
if you've played any other kart games.
Yeah.
If you've played any other kart games, Nintendo is unmatched when it comes to mechanics and fluidity of how that game actually races.
Yeah.
I played so many other kart games trying to possibly find other games that oh, maybe we could give this a try.
Yeah.
You go back
And,
to- you
and
go back
play
to
like a
the pole
SoberKart
position if you
version,
want.
right?
Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah.
the things that those other games bring is good, but the mechanics itself just fucking flops. Like it's not fluid.
Yeah.
So like that's where I see like the flaw in a lot of Nintendo titles, right? Is they never disappoint core fan base. Very rarely, right? You know, you at least have fundamentals that make your core fan base and your long time, you know, all of us were kids when we played them initially. We enjoyed them. But where do you start to draw in more outside crowd? The competition scene with Mario Kart, even though it's the best selling, you know, Nintendo Switch game ever, it's a joke. So like how do you draw in more excitement to get other people? For instance, how many of us just go and play Mario Kart on our own when we get home from work and, you know, just go and randomly lobby up? For a lot of people, okay, for a lot of people, you know, the excitement of a game is people enjoy it and just play it. And, you know,
Yeah.
for me, I don't really like playing video games unless I'm doing it with my friends, just because
That's fair. It's way better that way.
I get mad if I'm playing by myself, or you know, there's some games like I'll play Roller Coaster Tycoon just to like just shut my brain off and have fun and hear that carousel, you know, song. But like, it feels like a party game. How do you tap into just like the general populace to make it a more inviting title?
Including
that
a
people-
single player, including some open world aspect, things that we
I
already.
think so.
kind
Yeah,
of
I think
mentioned
some
on
of the
top
things
of
that we've already seen, like, they're kind of doing that, right? Like, if you now get to implement, there's a fueling system, essentially, inevitably, right? Like those little nuances, adding more racers to the field, these little mechanics where you basically create side missions. That to me is expansive enough to create a lure for new people to come in. Right.
But
Now
he's
can it do
talking more
more?
about the single player aspect too.
I mean, but
Genuine progression.
single player, even still, side missions in and of itself, right? Like, what makes GTA titles, or even not even going to another thing, go back to like the Super Mario and Mario World games, right? Like the side missions and the things that you have to do inside of those worlds, inside of those games, make them what they are, and that's why they're that good. And we're on the precipice of what is a game now that's kind of creating adage to what already is, to create those kind of side missions. Like, hey, you can go do this and do this, right? You're creating more stimulus. Right now, you can actively go do this. And if I can get in this game and not just get on the track and race, but I know that I can go collect X amount of coins and I can fuel up and I can get some crazy power up if I go this way, or I can take a completely different route. Like, these are things that might potentially, bring in new users. But I mean, that's subjective to the game player, right?
Solo side mission kind of game. I think genuine progression, like unlocking characters, parts, and things, is how this game could develop further, because
I think that's what comes from doing side mission stuff, right? Yeah.
I mean, that's not necessarily true. Mario Kart 8, I mean, if you're actually into completionist mindset, I mean, I played this game single player a shit ton to get 3 stars on every single map. But like, no game's gonna last single player for thousands of hours. What keeps people playing after
RuneScape.
they've beaten the single player? But RuneScape has a community as well.
That's a community.
With that, I think we should go ahead and knock out our last segment of the day. And go ahead and update this shotgun board. We definitely can grab 2.
I also adjusted it.
Last races. You already adjusted it in real time?
Yep. Well, not for today, but I'm saying I changed it where Cody and Brandon are small font.
Yep.
The main people are up top. Rashad's no longer last. Justin is.
There you go.
Whoa.
I'm not.
Wait, what? Oh,
I just put small print down here. Justin just happened to be the easiest way
That's
to keep them in the same spot.
That is hilarious.
But
with that being said, why we all added shotguns from the Itemocalypse challenge stream that we did a couple weeks ago. Beyond that, were there any other ones that were added outside of like little minor like throw ups or anything else?
Unless you guys threw up and didn't say anything, I think we were up to date.
Okay, go ahead and add one for both Rashad and I for today's stream for DCing.
Mine was internet. I'm not taking
you could say Sean's is too.
Mine might have been too.
He was actively. You were actively stopping drinking. My entire everything shut off.
Everything shut off.
I think your 8 seconds just went by really fast, Sean.
Well,
Sean,
I'm not gonna get out of it, man. I don't think I took too much time. It's the first time I've ever DC'd since we've started SoberKart.
Ever out of shotgun?
No. Relating to you actually being responsible, first time. Your internet has shit out plenty of times, so you can't say that's the first time.
I'm saying in terms of being responsible. That's a good word.
Was he in the Discord still, guys?
He was.
He was everywhere except for on the game.
See, that's why we can't really blame his internet either. So
actually, time out because I still stay in the Discord and like all of my shit works except my Switch.
Let's hold off on adding one for me then, and we'll rewatch this and all collectively vote on it next time. Tune in next week to know if I owe a shotgun for that bullshit.
Yeah, and we'll know.
Let us know down in the comments below if you think that I should. Fuck these people, man. Anybody gonna go ahead and knock out a shotgun that is owed?
So Easton before you do that, Easton, are we planning on doing any more rankings after this?
I don't want to prioritize that. I'd rather. We still have 30 minutes to hit 2 hours, so I'd rather knock out 2 more beers during stream and do.
Can we do a 6 race?
A 6 race.
Spade said, "Let's do it." Hey, Spade,
we definitely gotta go do. We gotta do 6 for sure.
We could do another 2 6. That's fine.
Then I'll do one.
I've been looking forward to playing Mario Kart, drinking, and talking story with the boys all weekend.
Yep.
I will also
the best days.
I'm gonna go ahead and skip out on doing shotgun today. I don't know.
I'm gonna do one.
I had some pizza that instantly made me feel sick to my stomach. This is the first time I've not done a shotgun during SoberKart madness.
Yeah, I had a big dinner. I had fried chicken and mashed potatoes and.
We know he wouldn't say that.
Parmesan asparagus.
Yeah, he would definitely never say that.
Yeah,
not on here.
On on stream.
Rashad, you grabbing your shotgun, or are you just hanging out?
I'm trying to find my keys.
You got my keys.
I'm just gonna grab it.
We don't have to collectively shotgun at the same time, right?
I mean, it would be nice, but we don't have to.
It would be nice for the viewers.
I'm fine. Yep. I'm fine.
I like doing it together.
Yeah. We just haven't done it in the past, so just clarify.
I'm probably going to regret this, though. That's for sure.
I'm the
only one not doing it? Fuck, I guess I'll do one then. God damn it, guys.
Now we're waiting on John.
God damn it. I thought Justin was saying, like, I had a big dinner. I'm not going to do one either. Why would you mention that if you're going to do it?
My camera's a lot higher than it normally is. I was opening it.
Yeah, I really like your hat.
Thanks, man. I got it from you.
Made it like peanut butter jelly.
Thank you for going to see Galantis.
Galantis.
All right, everybody ready?
I remember I wore that hat.
No, I'm not ready at all.
Yeah, well, this is SoberKart shotguns, man.
All right. Well,
you
cheers.
know this.
I'm gonna vomit.
The only reason why any of us are doing this is because we broke the rules.
Go.
Hold on. Oh, well.
That was my best shotgun I've had in a while.
I mean,
I'm getting pretty good at it sitting down.
Yeah. Would you
Yeah,
care to
first one.
update that board for us in real time?
Yep. So
Eventually, guys, we'll have a graphic
Before?
for this. This is what we're doing
Before?
with for now.
now let me. Boom, boom.
The fuck was that?
I didn't enjoy it.
Oh,
Yeah, that
that
was
was
rough.
I was motorboating my fucking mustache.
Boom.
Time to trim it.
Alrighty. Current shotguns for people who actually matter now sits at this.
Is that an 8 or is that a?
Wait, why did my number go up?
It went down. You had 6.
Was I? Oh,
Jeff, is that an 8 for you? I don't want any confusion later on.
no, it's 36.
I'm gonna have an update as well for the compounding rule.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
gonna get me. I know that for sure.
Yeah, everyone has at least
88453.
Alrighty. I don't hate having 4. Literally, I would have been even if it wasn't for that fucking item apocalypse challenge.
That one got everybody.
Dude, I got 5 in 1 challenge.
So
Alright.
did I.
With that
Who
being
had the
said,
least? Houston had you?
6 races. Are we doing y'all want to do a teams or just same?
We can't do teams. I mean, we can, but it's 5 people.
Yeah.
So
Just 6 races, 2
Yeah.
beers.
Itomocalypse.
let me grab 2 more real quick.
Fuck.
But you can start the race.
I will start it in 14 and a half seconds.
That's a very specific number.
All right.
Dude, is it next Wednesday yet? I cannot wait.
Plus, you ain't even gonna be awake, bro.
Yeah, I
You're
am.
gonna be asleep in a slumber.
Dude, I have 2 kids in the house 24/7. They are always up at that
Switch
time.
to direct is at 6 a.m.
Is that
Yeah.
what it was?
6 a.m. It's either
Alright,
6
now-
or 7.
All right. Well, now I'm gonna actually get up at that time.
Dude, these hotkeys are working so much better for these scene changes, man.
That's awesome.
nice.
They look lovely. I appreciate
It looked like it's pretty fluid, honestly.
Yeah.
It's nice.
With that being said, we do have 6 races to go. I think we should all kind of finalize our conclusion predictions, unless y'all want to continue the free flow mumbo jumbo. I think
Yeah,
it's
just run
bit
through
better.
it. I'm about to whoop y'all's ass. So
Each take a race to kind of get all your points that you want to make out in terms of.
I choose black.
obviously, it can be still a conversation, but. Oh fuck! I do have one more Michelob. I'm gonna finish drinking that. Cool.
Rashad, your camera stare was beautiful.
I was for you, you fuck.
Justin, start with you.
I like when you look at my.
What are your final predictions for Mario Kart 12 or 15 or 9, whatever it is?
Oh, the game specifically.
Yeah.
Oh, Jeff.
I'm probably
I
gonna
know.
get my hopes up. I really truly believe it's gonna be. They're gonna take a lot from Smash Brothers because
Bitch.
while they don't have the biggest competitive scene in this game, Smash Brothers is massive. And as far as like the longevity of the game, even though this still has, I mean, this has been going this long with what it is, but I think they have a lot of data to go off of from that game to see what went well. And I think it's really gonna boil down to a lot of taken from Smash Brothers, in my opinion, because they're kind of the same basis. You play against people, you pick a map, and you compete,
I'll eat it.
and that's. And yeah, I think the fuel system is just gonna be another. I feel like it's gonna be similar to the coins, just a slight tweak. And I also think the map choices with 24 and all that aren't going to be definitive. Because, dude, if they make every fucking map even more wider, I'm going to be pissed off. Because I feel like they're already too wide.
Yep. Like definitely the revision ones from like N64.
Yeah.
Even this one from Double Dash. Like.
Yeah, like I hate this version of it.
Why is he so fast?
Foreshadowing.
Fast as fuck.
On my ranking.
We'll get to
I think
a later date.
Yeah,
it's quitted, bozos.
I mean, I think the online aspect and competitiveness is going to be improved a lot. I'm excited to see. So many things they can do with Mario Kart to make it more competitive. I'm excited.
Tragic.
I agree. As long as it's better than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I'll be happy. And with upgraded hardware, I don't see how that should be an issue.
Yeah.
All right,
It's
Rashad.
been 10 years, right? No, 8 years?
9, I think.
Going on 9?
9 years since the last Mario Kart game?
Yep.
Yeah,
If it's not better than this one, there's a fucking problem.
The Switch is the only home console to never release its own Mario Kart game.
Yeah.
I would say Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is a lot different of a game than Mario Kart 8, but yes,
No, it's still no.
2 item boxes.
That alone, man. Rashad,
they improved it for sure. But.
Rashad, you got the floor on this one.
All right, never mind. All right, fuck him. It's your turn, Sean.
He's muted.
Well, I wasn't ready.
It looks like his camera's frozen. Okay, Sean. Oh, wait. All
right, well, I guess if he's not going to go. Rashad, are you here or no?
He's here.
Oh, God.
He's muted. He doesn't know he's muted.
Okay, well, albeit I think the game will be better. I think they're going to really hone in. In conclusion, the online play more so over anything else. A bold prediction of mine, I think they will get rid of the cross-play, and that includes getting rid of Inkling. I think they're really going to focus, hone in and focus on Mario specifically, especially with
why would they do
movie.
that?
They've already talked about creating a new Mario movie, and my basis comes from the sake of trying to get into ticket sales and creating more of a lore to Mario. They've already designed the characters clearly off of what they went with in the Mario movie, and I think that's going to continue. They made so much money with the production of that film, and it just makes sense for the sake of Nintendo to expand, to continue on creating a Mario series, whether that's a TV series or a series of movies. They also made quite a bit of movie with the Sonic films, even though, in my opinion, they weren't the greatest. So, with that being said, for Nintendo's sake, Mario Kart has always been about Mario Kart. It is not a Smash Bros. Game. I would like to see cross-play features, obviously, but they could always just make another racing game in the future if they want to include a Sonic racing game, right? Donkey Kong has always been a staple in Mario, so I don't think they'll get rid of them. But you'll probably see a lot more characters like Cappy or the Odyssey hat, whatever.
Yeah, Cappy.
You'll see Thwomps or Womps and shit like that. I don't think it's going to be anything other than a online game. I wish I would have had more time to speak, but that is basically the essence of my prediction.
Those are bold.
Yeah, real bold.
I think those are ridiculous.
I had an embarrassing.
You're taking out
Okay.
the fact that a lot of people like to play as other characters other than just Mario specific
I
characters.
agree. And that sets up for another racing game. Smash Bros is not a Mario game. Mario Kart is a Mario game.
Yeah, but adding
Tell
those
me if they bring out
characters.
a link cart, people are gonna fucking buy it. Zelda cart.
Have you seen anything in the trailer that exposed the new Mario Kart that was not Mario specific?
You could say the same thing about the initial Mario Kart 8.
That was all psychological.
It only had Mario characters, and they added DLCs to add additional characters. Link, Zelda was an entire expansion pass that was added
Link
to
was
Mario
the
Kart
original
8.
character in Mario Kart 8
Nope,
Deluxe.
nope.
No?
Well, of course, 8 Deluxe, yes.
No, okay.
8. I'm talking about 8 on the Wii U.
I didn't play 8. I don't. Who played the Wii U? So
Mario
Only
Kart
'cause
8
I had
was
one.
only released with Mario characters, but they
Sean,
added
this
DLCs.
we're gonna go backtrack to you. So this is your
Yeah.
floor, sir.
No, it's mine. Yeah, we had some technical difficulties there. My bad. That was mom was calling me, and I couldn't.
Yeah, we don't ignore those. We need those.
I mean,
I'm
for me,
kidding, Mom.
mine's pretty simple, cut and dry. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, regardless of what the game comes out to be in terms of Mario Kart in and of itself, I'm gonna be excited to play it. I think most people are. I would, in terms of seeing certain things change, a few things we mentioned earlier, as far as like the online stuff, that's got to be hashed out. If you're going to bring in a new fan base or just expand and get people back into loving and respecting this game a little bit more, I think you got to sure that up. I think you also have to sure that up for the sake of creating a more competitive Mario Kart, which I feel like they're reaching after with this Mario Kart. I would also like to see them create a new range of things in terms of adding new types of mystery boxes, bringing certain mystery boxes back.
Yeah.
I was a really big fan of Bowser's Shell and Double Dash. I was having a conversation with Sean earlier about like some new styles of mystery boxes that can be implemented. I had the idea that it would be interesting to like get some sort of like position swap mystery box. So I'm thinking about like what do you do with 24 racers and help the 24th racer recover position? Like there's got to be something pretty drastic to that. So I would like to see
Like
those types of mechanics.
Box?
Yeah, I mean if you get like a little call it like a reverse symbol or something, right? And then let's say you're in 24th and you activate this mystery box and now it switches places with 6th place or something. That's like outlandish, but
Yeah.
you know,
I say
something to that degree, right? I would
Yep.
like to see some creative mystery boxes brought into this. I also
Stop
think with 24 racers that we need to add another mystery box slot to. Like 2 mystery boxes is not going to be enough with that many races. I think we're going to have to
Yeah, like
add.
an
I mean, maybe
inventory.
if you even get to have like an item, something of that general nature. Yeah, but overall, I'm excited for the Switch and for Mario Kart. I think it's going to be good. Regardless.
Can't wait.
It's going to be pretty dope. I think it's going to be
Yeah.
pretty solid.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, and I basically was talking about the booster pack being a foreshadowing of potential mystery boxes to come. If you simply scroll up to the blue mystery boxes, we have, an onion, a flying mushroom, a rock mushroom, an Arab mushroom, or whatever that is, a cherries duplicating. What is that like? Stay a clone of yourselves to take on a defense indefinitely until it gets hit. Like
Implemented in 3D world.
yeah. But Jeff, this is your floor, sir. Your predictions, conclusions.
Should have been Baby Park.
Should have been. Yeah, get fucked like me.
Sorry. Good.
I think I kind of said everything I wanted to say. Trying to think exactly with extra gimmicks that I would either like or expect out of this Mario Kart. I don't think I think all of us personally are going to be a little underwhelmed. Just because there's a bigger focus on kind of competing with modern day consoles a little bit. Obviously, they're going to add.
Sounds like a Democrat.
Yeah.
There's things I want to see, but I'm not expecting anything. I'm trying to keep my hopes a little bit low when it comes to this Mario Kart. But as far as what I want to see, I would love a lot more customization when it comes to this new game. With the 24 racers being a thing, I definitely don't want it to be set in stone where, like, oh, we have wider maps now, like Justin talked on before. There's already maps or courses in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe where it seems a bit too easy because it's already wide. And there's certain maps that definitely don't need any, like, changes. But I really hope they don't add a general, like, wider view because you're playing with 24 racers.
Yeah, I agree.
Definitely gonna be more chaotic, I think, if they don't do that. But I think they'll balance out the items well enough. And I think Nintendo has a backing of having people who play Mario Kart on a daily basis where they know what they're looking for. And they're going to come up with something that we're definitely going to be surprised with. I don't think we're going to predict everything. I say underwhelmed just because all of our, like, hopes and what can come out of the new Mario Kart is probably not going to be, like, we're going to be missing quite a few things that we hope comes out of this game. But I also think they're going to add things that none of us even thought about, as Nintendo typically does.
100%, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're successful for a reason, even though we have our gripes and complaints about them. There's definitely a backing of people who have very intelligent ideas and game mechanics and new ways of, like, bringing in the new audience. So I'm just hoping for a very fun Mario Kart. And I think this will be fun.
I gotta pee.
I agree.
I'm so sorry, Jeff.
You're good, man.
Get me on the finish line.
Yeah, it's gonna be wild if they expand all the tracks even wider for every aspect.
Like
that'll feel a little defeating because it's I feel like it should be honing more into competitive and harder instead of only having like 2 or 3 maps that feel that way.
That's why I say customization would, like, appease everyone. Like, we, as people who like to have a little bit more difficult maps, at least I know I do. I think Sean does as well. If you have correct customization, you can tailor your kind of gameplay to the way that you like to play, but also introduce aspects where new players can come in and just have fun.
Yeah.
Singapore Speedway.
Easton, take the floor.
Okay. I think that this is based off of my experience with video games. I think that a big thing that will help with the retention and growth of the Mario Kart community will be, again, the expansion on online play, but with the idea of like the simplicity of the usage of competitive play, right? Because I remember with Black Ops 2, for instance, and that I played a lot of Modern Warfare 3, but it didn't really use this a lot. Black Ops 2 implemented league play, and even for people who weren't actually very good at the game, it gave that progression and growth and development of play that made you want to keep grinding and trying, even though you're playing the same garbage multiplayer all the time because you wanted to grind rank. I think that would be great for online play. And I also think genuine progression over time. Because right now, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is just like you earn coins. In custom games, I'm not earning coins to unlock things for gameplay. But when I'm playing local play or online play, I am. And the customization factor would be huge. Because if you're upgrading little parts of your kart build, you're able to feel like you're getting better or like improving upon certain stats of your kart build. And it's the little things that make a person want to keep playing. There's a reason why RuneScape still has a community, is because you're leveling up. You feel like you're doing more, you're getting better, and you're progressing in the video game. This game, once you unlock the karts, what do I got to do? Like, unlock Gold Mario versus Metal Mario?
Yeah.
And
the upgrades are
huge,
so minuscule.
yeah, that's a huge thing. And, like, I'm not so sure about the idea of, like, the 24-player thing. It's a cool idea, but I think maybe what they might do is just literally upscale the maps for 24 players and downscale it for 12 based off a person's preference, because I don't think everybody's going to want to do that.
I like the idea of chaos. That's the only beneficial side of why I think 24 players might be a fun idea.
That's what I'm looking at.
I do see a lot of problems with that too, but that's where
if
we
you
can
take out the skill, though, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
Baby
exactly.
Park, right?
If we're talking about party games exclusively, yeah, it should be fun. It should be a good time.
But I mean, even in
chaotic.
a competitive space, though, right? You're looking. There's so much more adage in terms of things that could fucking wreck your shit. And you think you're doing just fine. You know what I mean? Like, you're really getting pulled out of your element because there's 23 other people racing against you as opposed to 11.
Right.
You know, there's a lot more room to, for some things to go awry. So
I mean, I think all of us have played Mario Kart 8 enough to kind of realize the complaints we have against, like, it being more skill-based compared to luck-based. Like, when you want to create a competitive space, right, you don't want as much luck. You want more mechanics in there where if you master them, you're going to be better. Whereas this game definitely has a lot of that luck component to it. And I think that's another reason why.
It's more of a balancing aspect.
Yeah, I think it does. I think you got to find a happy medium, and I think they're close, in my opinion.
To me, the balancing makes this game worse than prior Mario Kart games. But
In what
I'm a
regard?
fan of I'm a fan of racing games. I'm
You
a
say
fan.
balance, and then you like N64 Mario Kart, where rubber banding is fucking the major issue with that game.
I like it for the 3D aspect of and the creation of what SoberKart was to me.
What?
I don't like
we
it
need
as
to make a segment where we just say it has to be N64 or Wii,
my favorite
and we
game.
just say how it's dog shit, and that's the whole segment.
My favorite Mario Kart game is Double Dash, which I think anybody out there who's played all Mario Karts can agree that it's the least rubber banding Mario Kart game of all time.
Not least. Nope. There's still rubber banding. There's no rubber banding in this game, really, except for
There is
items.
100%.
No, items.
There's bagging is a whole community online.
Yeah, but
That
bagging
is
only
pathetic.
encompass like 10 maps out of 96.
Yeah, fuck you,
Bullshit. There are
Not
so
bullshit.
many bagging maps. That is a whole thing that people do. You get a bullet in 9th place on the 3rd lap. Oh yeah, it's the top 3 spots. Let's fucking go. That's,
Easy.
I mean,
that
that's,
is-
that's why we
There's
kind of
nothing like
transitioned
that
from
in Double Dash.
drinking
that would
first
allow
lap.
you to get that. Right. All I'm saying is I like the competitive aspect to a racing game. And allowing mystery boxes sure helps for the sake of a party game and inclusion of, people who suck. DEI bullshit. But
That's a lie.
beyond that DEI, I personally would like to see
Japan doesn't
a
care
better
about that
community
shit.
and a community that actually is trying to fucking race competitively. That would be my priority.
Yeah, like Easton said, the longevity and wanting to the replayability is gonna be huge for me because I don't like get after getting all the basics like the 3 stars and all the cups and all that. That's it. There's with the ranking system in online play. Like if they just added where if you actually lost points if you got below a certain tier, little things like that would make it more enticing to want to. And it's those tiny little things that would make me want to keep playing.
Right.
I mean,
Outside of what we do.
I've got a hot take of a question for you guys. After the new Mario Kart, if there's a Mario Kart after the new Mario Kart, does it go VR?
No.
Ooh.
Depends on how technology.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying because technology is moving in a certain way.
I would say
where
AR.
I don't think
Not if
I mean,
VR
AR,
might
yeah,
be
you know what I mean.
included into this game.
right.
But if
but
it's
overall,
if you're
with
talking
the-
about it in the next Mario Kart, if there's a
Right.
new gimmick like that, it's going to be augmented for sure.
augmented for sure, yeah, and that's more close to what I meant. But
Yeah, I mean,
I-
maybe
I think
think the
looking at
fact
looking
that
at the way
console-
that game's going,
next
the way that
console, maybe.
technology is going.
I
Yeah.
didn't really get to finish my.
Not this
total
one in
point.
particular, but I think technology is moving in a certain direction where we've
Finish.
got to be getting closer and closer to a space where consoles is not.
Yeah,
I mean,
you see-
AR creates a lot of motion sickness in general.
Well,
VR or
sorry,
AR?
VR and AR.
I mean, AR does a pretty good. Newer AR has done a good job.
It's much better
like-
than it used to. I think that's a technology development. As well.
Yep.
Yeah,
But I didn't really get to complete my total thought. I love the idea of choosing the type of item box that you want to utilize for that specific placement you have for strategy. Like
I
we'll
even
say
love
for
the
instance,
aspect of adding coins, like spending coins. It costs this much to fucking get a 3rd mystery box or whatever the fuck. Like, I don't know what that looks like. Obviously, I'm just spitballing, but my bad.
we're probably gonna get hit with some random ass fucking mechanics.
Wait, what do you
like
mean,
that. But,
Easton?
so for instance, there's a strip of item boxes, but they're different colored, red, yellow, green. And if you choose red, it's attack. Yellow is defense. Green is like a random, or it could have a game changer type thing. And when you're racing, you're hitting what you're wanting to go with based off your placement. Obviously, if you're in the front, you're trying to get a defense item. If you're in the back, I want to have a game changer. If you're in the middle, I'm trying to attack, whatever it may be. But like Rashad and like kind of what him and Sean were talking on, that kind of gave me that sort of idea of implementation, and that would make a 24 race, like, racer game more viable, because currently with the way that like placement items and shit, I'm already way too far behind to catch up with a bullet. If I'm trying to catch up and I'm 22 places behind instead of 10, it's
items aren't going to be the same though.
I mean, I could see that though too. That's kind of interesting to think about, because then it also leaves the power of choice to the player. Like, you get to decide your fate. I'm gonna let you cycle through these, 3 items, and you get to pick one. And then now that's your mystery box for your extra slot or some shit, right? Which adds another layer of strategy to the game. I don't know. That'd be interesting.
Competitive. Yeah.
But
and like,
it's gonna be wild.
I ultimately, we all really enjoy Mario Kart. We all enjoy Nintendo. We're still going to enjoy it. I'm just concerned about the further development of it past our generation of like, we grew up on it. Obviously, we're showing it to like our kids, or will show it to our kids one day. But this kind of game,
maybe.
Yeah, this kind of game, I don't think it fits into like where the games industry is leading, and I don't think it's something that will genuinely survive and develop past our nostalgia and enjoyment of a video game.
Yeah,
I don't think Nintendo cares.
I hope so, man.
They've been doing it.
I hope it does, but Nintendo has stood the test of time. They've been there since the beginning. I think they'll be there at the end, unless they
Sega didn't do it.
Get very political. And Nintendo Direct will be on April 2nd. I hope y'all tune in to us. We will be doing a live stream on Wednesday at 8 a.m. Central Time, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, 6 a.m. Pacific Time. I doubt you'll be awake if you are over there on the West Coast, but we appreciate you watching anyways. Beyond that, we will see you on Thursday. We will be essentially replacing our challenge streams just for a couple weeks or so. Don't get ahead of yourselves. I know y'all love them. But we need to get a video out, and we are in the process of ranking all 96 Mario Kart 8 Deluxe maps. And in the event that this April 2nd Switch 2 Direct states that the Mario Kart or Switch 2 comes out in May, we got a lot of work to do, so that's why
got some motherfucking work to do
doing that. Beyond that, we love you. We appreciate you. Anybody's final thoughts? Get at it.
I got final thoughts. Stephon Diggs has been traded to the New England Patriots. And Russell Wilson is now a New York Giant. So figure that out.
Yeah, well,
that's what I need to go to
football stream coming soon for sure, but it ain't the season, so
Jeff's gonna have something to do.
All right, guys. Love y'all. We'll see y'all on Thursday.
Bye, guys.
Adios.